off air.
I got to know.
And it says this hangout air is live. Let me check the chat before we get going to see if there's anybody in here. Maybe they'll start coming in a little bit. Let's see. I see my live screen. And we currently have Ricardo Rosario and Cody Spring. What's up, peeps? Thanks for joining us. Cody Spring and Ricardo Rosario are in the chat currently right now. All right, folks. Well, this is Collector Spotlight. I believe this is Collector Spotlight number 6 or 7. Number 7?
7, I think.
Number 7. Okay, so it's Collector Spotlight number 7. For those of you that are not familiar with Collector Spotlight, it is simply me interviewing other nerds, one nerd to another nerd. It's going to be collectors, people that have YouTube toy channels, people that are active in the Facebook groups, toy-related ACBA practitioners, customizers, and it's just an opportunity for you to get to know them a little bit better, for me to get to know them a little bit better. And that's simply what we're doing. We're having a conversation. And today it is my pleasure to present to you Mr. Kevin Constantine, a.k.a. the Tattooed Toy Hunter. Is that correct?
That's right. Tattooed Toy Hunter, a.k.a. Kevin. You can call me Kevin also if you want.
Hey, so Kevin, I met you on the Facebook groups. I think I met you on the Syndicate. I know you're also in Open Box Mafia. You're a moderator in Open Box Mafia right now?
No.
Or
no.
Okay. I know you do something for them. I think you do some sort of graphics.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do those graphics, like the little flyers and stuff for live people that go live.
And of course, you have a YouTube channel, and because we're in the same circles, we do toy YouTube. That's how I got a chance to know you, and that's why I wanted to bring you on the show. Yeah, you got it. And one of the things that I find interesting about your YouTube, and congratulations, by the way, I noticed that you hit 600, which is no small feat in our arena. But one of the reasons that I like watching your content is, first of all, you're really good with your edits, your introductions, your outros are very good. You have very good graphics on your thumbnails, and some people may not care about stuff like that, but I pay attention to that.
Yeah, me too.
But the content that you have, you go to a lot of like thrift stores, a lot of I think garage sales. I've seen you do. Want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's just the stuff I love. You know, it's I hit the same circles that a lot of toy collectors hit as far as retail stores, but my heart's not in that. Like, I like to actually get out there and hit those little gems, the hole in the walls, flea markets, consignment shops, antique shops, thrift stores, Goodwill, different type of things like that. That's just what I enjoy looking at. I like old stuff like that. And you can find a lot of things that you can't find anymore in a retail store in those kind of places. So.
Right. Did you go hunting this week already?
Actually, this week, I have did some flea market shopping, and today I'm in Houston, Texas, which is almost 4.5 hours north of where I live. It's a large city, and I was finding a lot of what I like is basically clearance items and stuff, discontinued stuff, stores that are closing out. So yeah, I made some rounds and I picked up a lot of stuff today.
So you're away from home right now, correct? You're out visiting some family.
Yeah, visiting family, visiting some my wife's family. So, but the good thing about that is where I'm from, it's a very old city, so we don't have stuff like fiber optics when it comes to internet. So it's not good internet where I live. But some place like Houston, as big as it is, they have fiber optics everywhere, so it's like lightning fast here. I'm not used to it.
Yeah, me neither. And if George is watching in the chat, he's definitely not used to having some high-speed internet. So I'm glad that you're there right now.
Yeah.
So what did you pick up this week? Anything fascinating?
No, you know what? Not really. I picked up a lot of things that I collect a lot of stuff. Until last year, I only collected vintage. I didn't go outside of the 80s. So a lot of these modern figures that are the 2000s stuff is really new for me. But I'm just like, honestly, I was just taken back by today's technology and the way they do the sculpting. And I'm just kind of blown away by the toys. So it got me into a lot of different stuff that I normally wouldn't collect. So, but a lot of like DC stuff that I found very cheap that I'm looking to collect. And yeah, I'm not very good at being a completionist as far as waves and lines, but I'm trying, you know.
So what got you into collecting in the first place? How far back in your I suppose obviously I'm not sure if it was cartoons or comic books.
Yeah.
What got you interested? It piqued your collecting desires.
Yeah, I guess it's for as long as I can remember. I'm a early '70s baby. You know, I was born in the very early '70s, and the comics back then and the toys. I've just loved toys ever since I can have a recollection in my head of being a kid and my parents buying me stuff. I remember in the late '70s, early '80s, going to Toys R Us, collecting $1 worth of pennies and buying a 3 3/4 inch Star Wars. You know, paying a penny. They were upset that I was paying and they had to count it out, but I can remember collecting as far back as 8, 9, 10 years old, and it hasn't changed. You know, now I just collect a lot more modern stuff, but I just can remember since I was that age, under teens.
Do you have any of those old figures that you collected as a kid?
No, I have nothing originally from childhood. The only thing I have, honestly, is comic books and cards. I probably have comic books I have from the early '80s to the mid '90s when I started recognizing girls and going out and hanging out with buddies. I stopped collecting comics for a good time until like a couple years ago. But I probably have closer to 1,000 comic books, and I have probably a few thousand cards as far as baseball, you know, all the sports, wrestling. That was my first big collection. I did collect toys back then, but I didn't save anything from then.
Okay. So what happened to those toys?
Man, I guess given away, broken, buried in my parents' backyard. Torn up.
What else is buried in your parents' backyard?
Yeah, right. That's the question. They live out in a rural area. A lot of stuff, you know, and I've been in a lot of different situations, like marriages wise, and I would build up a collection. A divorce would happen. I would lose everything. Then I'd start over again, lose everything, start over again. I went through a couple of house fires when I was a kid. We lost a lot of stuff. So just a lot of things.
Wow.
And I've really been collecting probably like the second time around. I've been collecting the last 8, 9 years, maybe. Pretty solid, I guess. But like I said, until last year, it's mostly I've got like stuff like 30s, how they used to take 10 and stamp 10 into little trains and cars. Those kind of toys. I got a lot of 70s action figures, Migos. I've got a lot of lunch boxes. I collect a lot of stuff like that. Just old stuff. I like stuff that's rusty, man. That's just kind of my thing.
That's pretty awesome. Give us a little bit of a taste of something that you found out and about, and it ended up being a gem.
I'll tell you what. From Star Wars line, 3 3/4 inch figure, I actually found. This is not the best story, but this is one. I found Darth Talon, the Twi'lek that's a Sith. Darth Talon. I found her at a flea market for $2, and I ended up selling her for $50, just because I wasn't really collecting 3 3/4 anymore. Someone else wanted her, and it was kind of a flip move. I sold it. That was a big one though. That went for a lot. For me, like that I still have in my collection, I actually went into a Goodwill, and I saw Castle Grayskull, the original mid '80s Castle Grayskull. Now, all I could see is they had packing tape wrapped around it, and inside it there was a huge Ziploc bag, figures, Battle Cat. That to me, that's like the greatest thing in the world. I got home and there was like probably about 5, 6 figures. There was the complete Castle Grayskull, accessories, stuff like that. I love that. I found the mid '80s fire station for the real Ghostbusters. I found Snake Mountain, Skeletor's lair, a lot of play sets. A lot of that's from thrift stores and Goodwills, so I consider that like a good score.
Oh, absolutely. I remember having that Castle Grayskull and playing it to, I mean, pretty much to smithereens. I loved that thing. It was awesome. It was one of my favorite lines of toys when I was a kid. So you got to be in your 40s, right? I think we're probably in the same age.
Yeah, I'm 43, heading towards 44.
Okay, so you got me by a year. So in the 80s were just the birth of a ton of awesome toy lines that have proceeded on to today, like
Yes.
like the Motu line, and obviously you got your GI Joes and then Transformers. What do you, I know you say you collect a lot of those different lines,
Yes.
but
I've
if
got
you
so
had
much.
to, I know you have a ton. All your videos, you're always finding really cool vintage
Yes.
toys. What would you say is your favorite 80s line of toys that you're looking to find actively find today?
I guess that I'm actively trying to find and complete. I have a ton of Silverhawks. I got a lot of different, but the Silverhawks, I probably have 7 figures, and still going. I'm looking to complete them. If you ever watched the cartoon, there was twins named Steel Wheel and Steel Heart. I need the twins. They only came out with 2 waves, so I guess it's hard, but there's not a whole lot to find. There's only 2 waves of it, but I have a lot of the first wave already, probably 75% to 80% complete on that wave. I really like those guys. I collect a lot of the original 80s Thundercats. There's so many, man. I've got like just about almost anything you can think of from the 80s. At one time, that was all I was hitting up was 80s stuff. So I've got a lot of 80s.
Well, it looks like you got a couple of actually a few old fogies in the chat, so you may want to extend out to them. You got Blucker's
Yes.
videos, Paul McGrath, Not Another Retro Channel, Cody Spring,
Oh, yeah.
Christopher Smith, the Nightwalker. Some of these guys are they actually do the same stuff. I know Blucker's video. That's what he enjoys to do. He likes all the vintage toys. I know that Not Another Retro Channel also looks for vintage stuff like that. So you may want to reach out to them and see if you can find those Silverhawk figures. I didn't even remember the Silverhawks, to be honest with you. I just remember I remember coming home after school and watching the Thundercats and the Transformers and GI Joe, and I was going to say My Little Ponies, but that was later.
My Little Bronies.
My Little Bronies. You don't have to admit to it, guys. I personally don't collect those. I suppose it's okay if you do.
It's my next tattoo. I got a little space right here for it.
Hey, now that you mentioned your tattoos, obviously you have tattoos. So the tattooed toy hunter. What was the genesis of you starting your YouTube video, and why did you really pick? Was it just because you have tattoos?
Yeah, well, I originally started doing YouTube. I did a few what you call them mobile app games. I'm a huge player. I play Clash of Clans and started it. I still play it. I'm like a leader of my own clan.
Yeah,
clan.
Hey, that Clash of Clan guy you look like that guy.
Yeah. I started off with them. I've been playing it like solid for over 4 years now. And like I said, I've got one of the highest clan levels. And so my name as the leader of this clan is Sir Kevimus. So I actually just continued my toy videos under Sir Kevimus. So if you go back to my original videos, the first several were Sir Kevimus Online. I liked it with the wars and stuff, but as far as toy collector, it didn't feel like it fit. Sure. So that's when I changed it to the Tattoo Toy Hunter. I just I get stares. You can imagine when you're all done up, arms, legs, everything. People stare, and I don't mind. I don't get mad about it. I'll talk to them. How you doing? I want them to know that it's a misconception if they think I'm a bad guy because I'm inked up heavily.
Yeah, I'm looking at the ink that you have on your arms right there. That's not necessarily,
No, it's not
ghetto. It's not ghetto or prison ink or anything like that. But yeah, there is definitely a stigma that comes associated with tattoos. I think now that as we're progressing into, I don't know what millennia are we in. Well, we're still in the second millennia, but anyway, in our generation, that the tattoos aren't that taboo anymore. What was your first tattoo?
My first tattoo.
And can you show us?
What's gone? It's covered in an ocean of better tattoos. My first one was a little tiger. I don't know if you can see it. I have a tiger here, but I had a worse tiger underneath this tiger, and it was done with a guitar, handmade machine with guitar string. And some guy did it. I was 17 years old, and he did it in his mom's kitchen.
Oh, wow.
And that was my first, but it's covered. You can't see it anymore.
So I know there was a show that they would cover up really bad tattoos. So was that really that bad that you would have made it on that show?
It wasn't that bad. Yeah, it was very homemade. You could tell it was very amateur, but it wasn't something that was like, oh, that's embarrassing, like a little pony or something. It wasn't bad, but it was homemade.
So speaking of My Little Ponies, do you have any collector type of tattoos?
No, I don't actually. I have a lot of uh, really like if like the beginning of tattooing was like Western style, Sailor Jerry style. I have Asian, and that's what I have: Asian tattoos and Sailor Jerry style. It's really mixed. I've been collecting tattoos for uh, 23, 24 years. I've been getting tattooed my whole life, my entire adult life. Like I said, 17 when I started was not even the legal age. And I've been tattooed probably by over 20 artists. I just don't have any specific. I wish I would have thought more about it when I was younger and got stuff that meant more to me, but I didn't. I just, if I liked it on the wall, I got it. And I was kind of a little rebel. So,
Yeah, I unfortunately I can't identify with you. That's why I tagged in my body as tabula rasa. I have no ink whatsoever. I'd be scared to get ink. Actually, I would be scared of my mom, what my mom would say, because she's old school like that.
yeah. My mom tried. She would tell me, she begged me. She's like, son, please. And then when I started getting them, she was like, please don't go below the elbow. Please don't go below the elbow. And then I couldn't help it. After I got some education, I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So I started getting tattooed everywhere. And she's like, not the neck, not the neck.
Well, that's probably good advice, not to get it on the neck, because I know some employers would have a problem with the tattoos creeping up on the neck. Obviously, if you're a tattoo artist, you're good to go. That's part of the
exactly. Yeah, you're set if that's your career. I do like most companies that I work for. Not now, but in the past, I've worked for very large companies that require me to cover them. So you're talking South Texas, 110 degrees, and I'm covered up in long sleeve. It's terrible. So you got to think about those things before you start inking yourself up.
Sure. Do you have a plan for your next tattoo?
I don't have a lot of room left. No, you know why? Because my wife
just pick up a couple more pounds and you're good.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't want to I need to do some work on my legs, so that would be the next stuff. But I'm not in any hurry. They hurt more. The older we get, the more they hurt.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine how much that would hurt. Would you consider putting it up to a vote when you decide to do that on your channel and letting your fans pick your next tattoo?
Yeah, it's on my. I'm gonna tell you what. At one time when I was a lot younger, probably 20 years ago or so, I wanted to be a tattoo artist. I had it in my head, but I have this. You still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. I had this nervous issue where I shake quite a bit. So I bought professional equipment. I spent several hundreds of dollars on tattoo guns, machines, ink, and I started practicing. I just didn't care. I practiced all over myself. And I tattooed my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, friends, my wife. I was pretty hammered once, and I tattooed a butterfly on her.
Oh, no.
I'm going to tell you what, I don't anymore because I'm not any good. But yeah, I have some embarrassing tattoos on my legs because I thought that was a cool way to practice. So I got cupcakes and stuff on me. It's stupid stuff.
Oh, wait a second. Real tattoos?
Yeah, I was tattooing because on my body, the only way I could tattoo was to put my leg over my thigh, kind of Indian style on one leg, and tattoo on the inside of my legs and thighs for practice to get to, because they sell fake skin. You can tattoo on oranges and all that, but it's not the same as skin texture. So yeah, I would really tattoo myself. I have probably tattooed myself 12 times. I have 12 tattoos for myself, and they're not all that bad, to be honest with you. Some of them are pretty good. Not great.
Did you take art in school or anything like that would make you a little bit artsy?
No, I love, yeah. I have a collection of comic books I used to draw. I made up my own characters. I made up my own world. They all had superpowers. All the girls were beautiful.
Of course.
I've always liked to draw, but yeah, that's it. I don't have any extra training.
Hey, so just real quick, let me pull you back into the toy world.
Okay.
When you go garage sailing, or you're going into thrift stores, do you have any strategies that you can share with us, especially for garage sales? What do you do? How do you plan, or you just flip a coin and you go wherever there's one?
Now, as far as when garage sales are concerned, a great percentage of garage sales are not going to be toy related. You know, it's a lot of clothes to start, and then you might get a lot of dishes, and then you might get into a little bit of tools. But with technology nowadays, there's like a ton of Facebook groups. You can go by your area code, like the area code you live in. So like I'll just make one up, like say you're 712. So you go to Facebook, you look up 712 garage sales, and their people will post exactly what they have. So you can strategize, like they start whatever 8 a.m. Friday morning. You can strategize how you're going to do it by that. Like if you're just looking up toys, don't waste your time on Miller Street, you know, because that guy's not going to have toys. So yeah, nowadays I hit up Facebook. Sometimes I don't. Like nowadays for my city, with the weather, there's not any garage sales at the moment because the temperatures and all that. A lot of elderly put them on here and they don't want to get out in the cold. But I just look. Sometimes I like to get on the main drags and drive down and find the signs because they'll lead you with arrows all the way. I find that fun. But when I'm like really serious about toy collecting during garage sales, I'll actually get on the internet and I'll do my research real quick. Like the night before, my wife will help me, or I'll get on there. We'll look up our area within 50, 60 miles. And the ones that say, hey, I got comics. I mean, they're that specific. I got vintage comics. I got, whatever you like, Power Rangers. So it's easy to write all that down or save it on a notepad in your phone, and we'll hit them up like that.
So those garage sales that you've researched and you've gone to because they either have comic books or toys, etc. Let's start with comic books. What have you found anything like Silver Age from at one of those garage sales?
At the garage sales, it's been a while since I've actually found good comic books that aren't torn up. But yeah, I've found some like Archies that are like from the 70s and whatnot, but they're torn up bad. The good ones I've been finding in thrift stores. I got a thrift store down here, and I made a great connection with this guy. He's a collector himself. So what he does is he buys storage units. He goes and bids on storage units, and he gets collections that way. And he also goes to state sales, like, elderly pass away and they do a state sale on the property. He lands a lot of 70s, 80s toys, like the stuff I'm into. He likes the same stuff I like. So what he does is when he finds stuff, he replaces his stuff if it's better, and then he puts out his stuff at the thrift stores for sale, or like he'll get a consignment shop in a little space. So I keep tabs with him, and he gets like first issue Wolverines, first issue Punishers. Like I've gotten a lot of vintage late 70s, early 80s first issues of these comics because of him lately. He's like my little connection.
What's the best comic that you have, or the oldest comic that you have?
The best comic I had, I had some hard times and I had to sell it.
Okay.
But I got New Mutants issue 98, and I sold it for $200. And that
was the first appearance of who was it?
Deadpool.
Of Deadpool, yeah.
Yeah, and it was mine from when I was a kid. Where I lived, the little town I lived in, there was only one store that sold comic books, and we had to ride our bikes a couple of miles to it. So I remember only on Thursdays they'd come out, and I remember buying that comic. I love the New Mutants and the X-Force. The artwork was so great back then. So actually, when I stopped collecting comic books, I bought a massive 2-foot-long Tupperware container, put everything in it, and stored it at my parents'. So finally, just a couple years ago, I was going through everything, and I needed money, and I ended up selling it for $200. But that was probably the best. I've got a lot of first issue stuff though from like the early 80s. I still have that I haven't really looked through. Same thing with cards. I have probably like 3,000 or 4,000 baseball cards. I've got a lot of them encased in glass. Johnny Benches, like Rose, the big names. I still have all that stuff, and it's probably worth a lot. I just don't pay any attention to it right now.
Yeah, that's the thing with the baseball cards. Depending on what year you're collecting.
Yeah.
When Fleer, and then it's been a long time since I collect, but I have a ton of baseball cards in our garage that my wife wants me to get rid of.
Yeah.
Because they're just taking up space. I'm not into baseball cards right now.
Right. Oh, I was big time into that, and basketball. Like I've got rookie Bird, rookie Jordan, rookie Magic Johnson. I've got a lot of old stuff.
Oh, wow.
I've never let them go. I keep them. I don't sell any of my stuff. Those couple of things I told you about, the Dark Talon and the comic book, is one of the very few things I've ever let go of. The stuff I have, my wife wants me to sell a lot of it because, to be honest with you, I'm collecting modern stuff, but I still don't. It's not there for me at the heart like the old stuff is. So I have it, and I do like it, but I don't love it like I love my old stuff. But I don't sell my stuff. I'm like, I've hoarded this out of our bedroom, to be honest with you. It's pretty
Okay.
terrible.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I watch your videos and you buy something every single time that you're out. And where are you storing all this stuff? Because you've been collecting for, how many years now that you've been collecting?
I've been collecting solid, probably between 6 and 8 years, I think. I've been
Okay.
collecting like full time.
All right. So where are you putting it? Where are you putting this stuff?
Well, a lot of the stuff I collect, the great majority of it is loose. So I have several bookshelves in my bedroom, and I have them stacked like layers, like 8 layers of figures stacked. You know, you can't see a lot of it. And in the very back of the bookshelves, I got it lined
like
with
this?
all new. Exactly like that. Yeah.
Like this?
Yep, just like those guys. I have them, but if you look at it, each shelf has 4 or 5. Each bookshelf has 4 or 5 shelves, and they're all like packed to the gills. And then on top, that goes all the way to my ceiling in my bedroom, I have like everything just loaded to the ceiling, all the way to the ceiling, and then all the way to the back, which you're talking a couple feet of stuff just stacked to the back wall. You can't see no more. You can't even see my my lunch boxes, the metal lunch boxes that I love. My Mego stuff. I got like play sets from 1974 figures. Like it's all boxed up and hidden. And then in the corner of my bedroom, the same thing. I've got probably maybe about 20, 30 of those Marvel Legends. I haven't even opened. It's just because I don't have a place to show them off, to showcase them, so they stay boxed up. But it's terrible.
All right, so it begs the question. Actually, a couple questions. I'm thinking space. I'm thinking budget, and I'm thinking all these different just lines that why are you collecting? Is it the thrill of the hunt that you need to have? Is it the nostalgia? What is it that just like, I think I heard you, maybe it wasn't today that you said it, but you said it to me in the past, like a sickness. It's like a sickness.
It is. It's a sickness. It's an addiction. To be honest with you, you're right. Like, I think what pulls at my heartstrings are the toys I played with as a kid, and I think that's why no matter all this stuff I'm collecting, I gravitate back to the 80s, because I think that's like that first time you get like a new He-Man. Back then, it was the greatest thing in the world. Like, I was just so happy. I loved it. I don't know. The toys had a smell to them, a look to them. They were just amazing.
Well, Moss Man smelled like
exactly.
fresh dew, fresh grass.
I agree. Yeah, and for some reason, like, I get a little bit of that innocent happiness time when I see the stuff. I walk in the store and I see something I had, and I can think back and like, I own that. Elvis died that year. I gotta have it. I'll buy it.
Well, okay. So now, because I think the guys in the chat are identifying with what we're talking about right now. Like, where do you draw the line? And this is an honest question that I guess we all have to, because we do have the space is an issue. Yep. And there's a collector driving us, the nostalgia, the thrill of the hunt, etc. That we're always going to acquire more. There's always more to acquire. There's never an end. There's going to be new lines being released, and there's a ton of retro stuff that you can go back and find. But like you mentioned right now with your lunch boxes, you can't appreciate your lunch boxes because they're in the back.
Yeah.
What do you do with that?
Right now, it's a love-hate thing. Like, you're miserable because you like for me, I have to admit, my family, it is, people suffer in my house because, our bedrooms, you can go in there and sleep, but there's no activity space. But we have a very small home, and recently put my wife through school. She's graduated from nursing school and all that, and we're working on towards a bigger house, and that's what we need. We're a larger family. So what I need, my dream is to have my own room. So once I get my own room, it's going to be ridiculous. Like, this stuff is going to be, because I have amazing toys. Like, I got an Emerald City Wizard of Oz Migos playset in perfect condition with figures. I mean, that's something to me that needs to be in a museum, or it needs to be seen. And it's in a friggin' cardboard box right now. It's pathetic.
So what if you had to design and we're going to get back to the toy, but you're going to design your own toy room, how big would you want this to be?
I don't want to get crazy. I think because I'm a simple man, like I've been, very simple my entire life. I would probably just be okay with like a 12 by 12. It wouldn't have to be crazy. I think I could manage. And I'm saying that, and I'm probably going to be full of it, but
I don't believe you, bro. I don't believe you at all.
12 by 12, 12 by 16, something like that. I mean, so I just want my own place, my own room, so I can actually do my editing, because I'm like upping my channel too. Like I recently purchased a bunch of green screen material equipment. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna push it a little further as far as like the editing and the skits and stuff. I'm gonna try to do some new stuff. I've always enjoyed that too. Like I used to write programs. I've written over 200 free programs, released them online free. I used to sell programs. I've ran 8 underground websites. I used to write all kinds of crap back in the day. And I stopped doing it because of schooling. Like it was just, the schooling was taking up too much of my time. So I kind of gave all that up, but I like figuring things out. I like learning how to do stuff. So now with the video editing, that alone, like in itself, I enjoy that. And my wife gets on to me because I'll be like hours, like it needs to be a certain way perfect. And I just won't stop until I get it to function. Like you see Brad Campbell, he's a YouTuber, and he's
I think he's in the chat. Or he was in the chat.
Okay.
I think,
yeah. That guy's next level, his skill set. And I'll actually watch a video of his and be like, you know what? I think I'm not gonna stop till I can do some little trick he did in his. And it's not as good, but as long as it kind of functions, I'm sort of happy.
I was watching, this is going to be off script, but what program do you use to edit your videos?
I use something called Filmora Wondershare, and it's the only one I've ever used, so I can't compare it. I hear other YouTubers say like Sony Vegas, or that they say the free ones, but this one I got for $50, and I love it. The sky's the limit. I'm still learning new stuff that it can do. Like it's still like I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, I recently got, it's called Resolve, DaVinci Resolve. It's a freeware program. I haven't edited anything on it. I'm actually a little bit intimidated because all I've ever used is my iPad, but I definitely want to expand my horizon. And I guess, we do have people like yourself and more advanced people like Brad. I guess we could pick their brain. Because I would definitely, that's something I find enjoyable. I think it makes our videos more palatable because my family will watch my videos, but they really don't care about the toy stuff, right? We care about the toy stuff, but when other people watch the video, it'd be nicer to make it a little bit easier for them to watch.
Yeah.
And I came across a guy. This guy is phenomenal, and I'm gonna forget his name, but he went viral in 2011 when he did a New York bike video. What's this guy's name? Let me see if I can find him real quick. Just absolutely amazing the way he shoots. And I'm trying to think of how I can incorporate some of the stuff that he does into my videos to make it a little bit more fun. Let me see if I can find him real quick. I was watching him earlier. Okay. His name is, there's this picture, Casey Neistat. Oh, he's got like 8 million plus subscribers. The guy is a genius. It's so, and I don't really care about the subjects, but he makes it interesting. And I found him last night, and I've watched probably like 20 of his videos already because it's so fun to watch.
Wow.
His content. But anyways, back to your point, the editing, and you want your own space, etc. For you. What are you going to do with the green screens?
Green screens are going to be for what I do normally. Like I do my toy hunts, and then I have like at the very end of the toy hunt, the last few minutes, I like to do a recap on what I purchased. And that's when I go over the prices, the clearances, the discounts, the locations. Well, the green screen is, I like seeing some of these reviewers where they just have a clean, almost like newsroom looking situation going on, where the back is like, like the backdrop could be something like your logo or your brand or your channel. I want a brand, like just a clean looking background to my recaps, basically.
So why?
And also if I do like editing where I want myself like miniaturized version of myself run across the screen while I'm talking and doing stuff, and I can involve myself with this, just all kinds of stupid ideas I have in my head.
Well, that's not stupid. I mean, it's a creative outlet. So why are you doing the YouTube channel? Why?
Well, the reason when I first started doing the YouTube, I honestly, like I didn't even know that people were doing it, and I just started searching on YouTube collections. I wanted to see 80s collections and people doing little reviews of their own collections. I didn't know any of these guys, so the very first toy hunter or toy collector I saw was that Pixel Dan. I saw Pixel Dan, and I was like pretty impressed with it. I was like, man, I have a lot of old stuff too, and then from him I found that guy Shartimus Prime. And then from Shartimus, I found a guy named Talker Art, and Talker Art gave a shout out to George Plastic. When Talker Art gave Plastic, that's when I found out all these syndicate guys. So when after I saw Pixel Dan and these guys in Plastic, I just decided, you know, I've been for years and years going through all this stuff, and since I'm here watching people dig through junk at flea markets and garage sales, there's got to be, you know, I like doing that. Why not catalog what I'm doing, you know, and share it? So that's kind of the idea, the concept. Honestly, when I first started, I did not join any of these Facebook groups. I went 4 months with only 4 months straight of YouTube with 45 subscribers. That was it. 4 months, 45 subscribers. And then I decided I found the Syndicate was the very first page. I joined them, and it just kind of from 45, I'm at, you know, in 4 months after that 4 months, I'm at 600. Like that exposure to others and stuff has helped me circulate that much better. So I really give them, OBM, Open Box Mom, I really give them a lot of credit. They really helped me out because 4 months, I was busting my hump for 4 months, and I had 45 subscribers. It was terrible.
Yeah, and definitely the Syndicate is super, super friendly to YouTube, and there'll be people that are willing to help out and go watch your stuff. And that's how it happened for me too. I came across the Syndicate and started, got a desire just like you and started doing the same thing. And there's so many people that are YouTubers. There's really good community, especially if you're wanting to start. So a lot of the times that I see you hunting, you're always at work. You're working, then you'll take your partner hunting with you and stuff. So what are you currently doing right now for the people that don't know?
Right now, I'm a paramedic. I'm a paramedic for a private ambulance service. And basically we're not the 911 provider for the city I live in. We assist them, we back them up. So our stuff, we do a lot of critical care stuff that's already kind of been stabilized mostly. I still do emergency calls, but not like back in the day. I've been in EMS, and I've been a paramedic 15 years. So in 15
years, 15 years, how many lives have you saved?
Man, there's a ton. I can remember all the worst calls, but there's been a lot of good ones. I can remember picking someone up from a place, and their heart rate will be running at over 200, and they're about to pop. And I remember pulling up to the emergency room. I hit them with medications, and they're normal. I roll in. They had a lethal arrhythmia that wasn't going to last very long. The doctor says, okay, they're good. Take them back. After they did blood work, there was nothing they could do. So there's times when we're not physicians, but, I mean, we can actually completely correct and not just temporarily maintain things that are going on. Like I've had times, like you say, or like someone has a cardiac arrest and they're gone, and you start pushing meds and you defibrillate them and you get them back and they're talking. I've had one talking to me after shocking them. I've actually popped him, and he actually talked to me afterwards. Like he came back and was talking. That's very rare because even the ones you save usually die most of the time. But
have you saved any toy collectors?
You know what? I'm going to have to say, I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure. You know who I've had? I've had actually comedians, and one of them had a Netflix exclusive coming up. And I need to find out what his name was, because he said he would get me tickets.
You better go find that out, player. I know. All right. Have you treated gunshot wounds and stab wounds? I'm imagining.
Yep. I've been to scalps, decapitation, drowning.
I was going to ask you, what's the grossest thing you've ever seen?
Oh man, you know what? Well, shoot, there's so many, man. I mean, and I
pick the one that comes into your mind, like now.
One of the craziest ones is I had a federal agent. He was customs. He was he wasn't supposed to be, but they were he was riding on the back tailgate of a pickup truck on duty. It was a border patrol truck. He was riding on the bumper, and he was cruising down the shoulder of the street doing a few miles an hour, and he would jump down, run off into the side of the road. They were looking for undocumented people, and he would jump back on, and he was heading southbound. Well, this old Dodge Ram pickup truck comes driving the same direction, falls asleep, and hits the back, and he clips him like scissor action, and he takes off both legs.
Oh.
Yeah, he takes off both legs. So when I get there, I'm thinking they have him like this yellow plastic. I thought he was dead. We get there, he's up and talking, and the only thing he was worried about was what his wife was, how she was going to react when they told him. He was fine. He was in shock.
Right.
So I don't think the pain was really kicking in as much as it should, but he was only worried about his wife. And I was like looking at his legs over here on the side.
What's that? What was that English? That make me recall. What was that English comedy where it's the night and he gets quartered, and he still wants to fight? What's that called? Monty Python's Holy Grail.
Mel Brooks, yeah, that old school. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people. Like I've been able to look into people's chest cavity, see their lungs operating, and they're talking to me. Yeah, like.
Oh, I cannot do what you do, my friend. Absolutely not. The only thing I can do is look at toys, because that's what you like doing. Let me transition before I think we're going to start losing people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at his lungs as he's talking to me. All right. So you say that you're not into the modern stuff, but I know I've seen you pick up Marvel Legends, and since we have some people in the chat that do collect that, I wanted to do a screen share and talk about some of the new waves that are hitting and just kind of get your reaction. Mind if we do that real quick?
That sounds awesome. Let's do that.
All right, let me see if I can get this to function. All right. Here we go. People in the chat are saying, I'm glad I ate before this.
I'm sorry, guys. Hey, I get discounts at a lot of restaurants.
Are you seeing my screen right now by any chance?
Yeah, I see a YouTube page coming up. I love that wave. That wave is awesome.
I want to talk about this. So do you recognize any of these characters?
Yeah, the Spider-Punk, Gwenpool. I recognize them. Yeah, Mysterio. I like a lot of those characters. A lot of them aren't the more common that I would see and read in comic books, those guys, but I've seen them before. I think they look great. Of course,
yeah, I agree.
I'm rock and roll myself, so I mean, you give Spider-Man an old denim sleeveless jacket and a guitar, I'm gonna love it.
Yeah, I know that that's Spider. I kind of want him. I'm not too familiar with that character. I'm a little bit familiar with him, but he does look pretty cool. That denim jacket. I saw Dog did a review on him.
Yeah, that's where I saw it too.
Yeah, he says that. I mean, it looks like it's denim, but without being denim. Oh, pardon me as I'm getting coffee delivered to me. Thanks, honey. And but anyway, so that's he looks interesting. Tell me which ones are you going to pick up for sure from this wave? Are you going to pick up any?
You know what? If I picked up any, it would probably only be that Spider-Man. Like I said, I'm not a big completionist with these Build-A-Figures. I mean, I'm putting them together, but I do the long game. I don't go out and buy waves. I wait till they're clearanced. I like that Mysterio guy. Looks awesome.
Yeah, so that's what I couldn't remember if I had. Let me see if I clicked over.
He looks great.
Yeah, let's talk about him. I think this, other than that Spider-Punk, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have him. I do have a Spider Shelf.
Yeah.
And so I may ultimately end up getting them, but it's that Pizza Spidey mold. It's the same one as this one right here.
Yeah.
It's the same mold. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. This is new to me. But anyways, this is the same mold, right, that's being used. It's just been repainted. It's got a different head. The eyes look. He looks cool, so I may pick him up. But the one I'm for sure gonna pick up is this Mysterio.
Yeah.
This Mysterio is an awesome Hasbro release. Are you familiar with the character at all? Other than, did you ever read the Sinister Six?
I've seen him before, but not super. Like I wouldn't know his backstory and all that off the top of my head. But I have seen him before. Yeah, I like him. He looks great.
He's the guy that caused Wolverine to think that the X-Men were his enemies, and Wolverine ultimately ended up killing the X-Men.
Slaughtered them all.
Yeah,
Really? He's
slaughtered
the
them
one
all.
that. Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
this
you know
is
what? I've read that storyline too before, where they make him think that they're the villains and he kills everybody.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, like, I mean, look at this. This is pretty good detail. I can't really blow that. Let me see if I can. No, that
Yeah,
doesn't make
that's pretty rare for Marvel, for Hasbro to put in all that sculpted detail into the body.
the sculpted detail looks really good. I mean, look at this.
That's gorgeous. It looks kind of Celtic, sort of. It's pretty. It's nice. That looks good.
Yeah, I really like it, man. I like this figure. However, I want to show you something else. I like the effects on this too.
That they actually put something in the box is great.
Yeah, I think they did this pretty well too. I dig that skull.
Yeah, that's cool. I like
What is
that.
that coming out? I wish I knew more about the history.
Right? It
I
looks
don't
like
know.
tentacles, like almost like octopus tentacles or something.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a really well done figure. But here, let me show you. Let me show you this one though. Can you see
Wow.
this?
Yeah,
It's a. This is Action Figure Toronto, guys. If you guys don't know who this guy is, he is a premier customizer. This is probably, in my estimation, this guy doesn't take commissions. This guy just does customs for himself, and then he puts out tutorials. And he doesn't do videos, unfortunately. He's more like he'll just write and put pictures. And I wish he would do videos because I learned better from videos. But this guy is amazing. I think he's probably second in ability to Craig Warwick. Look at this figure. Can
it
you
looks
see the
like a whole
video?
different new figure just with that work.
Yeah, that's a glass bulb that he's using. It's a glass that that used to be a Vision figure, and he sculpted all that detail himself. He made the wrist, but look at the paint. And did you notice that? Did you see that?
Yeah,
It was he put an LED light on this thing,
that's awesome. But toys used to
and
come with that.
exactly, exactly.
That is amazing work.
Yeah, and and to be honest, I think Hasbro got their idea from this guy because he put this out quite a while ago.
Yeah, because
It,
it's a lot similar in a lot of ways.
it's very similar, like obviously they have the character sample that they can go for, but man, this is amazing. I'm gonna try to do this
He
custom.
recessed magnets into the chest.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, man. This thing is a thing of beauty, an absolute beautiful figure. And I think what we can do, I mean, you can take this figure right here because Hasbro's pretty much done it. All this needs is I mean, it can obviously it's a great figure as is, but just with a little bit of customizing ability, you can repaint this sucker. You can add an LED light and add a soft goods cape, and it's going to look almost like this. So I'm going to take a stab at it. Have you ever taken a stab at customs? I mean, you've done tattoos. You'd probably be pretty good at painting.
I have, man. I've done one. It wasn't a whole lot of like adjustments to the body, but I actually I wanted a Stan Lee so bad in my collection. I just wanted him like the leader of my Marvel universe on my shelves. So I got what's the guy from the Daily Planet? Perry. I can't remember his name. I got his figure. It was like a DC classic figure, and I did a whole paint. I went and bought some girl toys to get some rose shaded glasses to look more like Stan Lee, and I did the paint job and put glasses on him and painted the silver gray hair. That's about the only thing I've ever actually custom. Oh no, I lie. I actually had a 3 3/4 inch Darth Maul and turned him into the cyborg Darth Maul with the cyborg legs and all that. I did that, cloth and all.
Awesome. You should showcase that on your channel if you still have it.
I still have it. I'll show that off. That's the only two things I ever did.
Here's the next wave that's already dropping. From what I heard today, I was talking to Eric Sarton. He's in the syndicate, and he was telling me that he heard that this dropped. This wave is somewhere in California. I don't know about that. I think this is in the Philippines or somewhere in Asia. But what do you think about this Deadpool?
Honestly, the Deadpool's fine, but the wave itself, other than Mysterio figure, I like this wave better than the Spider-Man wave, just because of a lot of the figures in it. I'm a bigger fan of, I guess.
So
But
are you saying that this Deadpool or this Sasquatch wave is better than the Lizard wave? You think?
well, as far as the Build-A-Figures, I like them both. But the characters in the waves, I think I like overall. I like more of the characters in this Deadpool wave than I do the Spider-Man wave. A
Yeah,
lot of those Spider-Man figures I don't care for much. But I used to read Domino, her, and a lot of the other ones. I have more connection, I guess, to these waves.
Where was she from? Was she from X Factor
She had her own little line for a little while, but yeah, she had a. I don't know if it was Excalibur. She was with a few different groups. I can remember one in specific. I don't know if it was called Excalibur, but I remember her having her own line for a little while too, just Domino. I have some of them.
Yeah, Excalibur. That was with Nightcrawler. I think he was the team
and
leader.
Captain Britain. Captain Britain's
Captain
awesome.
Britain.
He's related to someone in X-Men. He's like a cousin or a brother, and he got his powers from Merlin, so his backstory's cool. Merlin the wizard gave him his abilities, so Captain Britain's actually a super cool character. He's not the most powerful, but
right.
He used to be the leader of that Excalibur.
The Excalibur. That's right. Mike in the chat says that she was tied into X-Force. I think he's right.
X-Force, you're right.
Yeah.
And X-Force was one of my favorite '80s comics. It's one.
Yeah, it was.
The artwork was crazy.
Who was penciling X-Force at that time? Do you remember?
I don't know. If I had my comics, I would cheat and be able to tell you, but I can't.
I'm thinking Eric Silvestri, because I think it was one of the guys that went over to Image. Maybe somebody in the chat can help me out because I'm.
And now that you're saying that they do look a lot. If you look at Image, the front covers, and you look at X-Force, you're right. They look exactly the same back then.
Well, but it was all these guys that went on over. Eric Silvestri. You had now I'm going to forget all their names. Todd McFarlane. I think Jim Lee may have gone over there. Who else?
They had some great stuff.
Yeah, they had some big names. Liefeld, thank you. That's the guy I couldn't think of. I was thinking of Cable with a humongously out of proportion chest. But this wave is looking. Oh, speaking of Cable, this is a very nice looking figure, man. I think this may be for me the best figure in the wave.
I agree. He's amazing. He looks. And I don't have a modern Cable. All my stuff is the early '90s. Was it the guys that before Legends, before Hasbro? Toy Biz, yeah. My Cable and all that stuff is the early '90s, and I still appreciate them for what they were, but the bodies, the molds are nothing on this guy.
Yeah, I mean, they did a really good job with this figure. I like the accessories. It looks like he's got his big guns. The paint looks actually pretty good. I like the face sculpt is interesting. Let me see if I have anything else on here. No, that was it. But believe it or not, man, because I'm doing Brockonomics, I'm gonna pass on this wave.
You are?
Yeah, I am not gonna collect not even this this really nice looking Cable, and the reason is I want to expose. Obviously, today's your collecting, but we're taking a little break here, looking at these figures. Yeah. There's customizers that and this guy Beltran, he did this Cable. Check this Cable out, man.
That's gorgeous. Is that from the Select body or?
Well, so that's actually using the base body here is the Cable that came out in the
earlier X-Men.
The Wolverine is the one that came out with Wolverine. It was another X-Men wave that recently came out. I'm trying to think of the Build-A-Figure from that wave.
Yeah, the one where Cyclops has a beard and all that. That wave.
Cyclops with a beard?
Yeah, that Cyclops. I'm sorry, Colossus. My bad.
Oh,
Colossus
that one.
With a big
beard. I wasn't familiar with their Build-A-Figure, but it was like the crazy looking. Was it the Juggernaut? Oh, you know what? It was the Juggernaut wave.
Yeah.
The Cable from the Juggernaut wave. So that's the base, and obviously the head is from the Marvel Select Cable, and it's got parts from it's a kit bash and a repaint, and this is exactly what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna try it.
Good job.
Yeah, this guy does really good. If you guys go check him out, his Instagram, and then his brother, also has a YouTube channel that he does dios. So these guys, this Beltran brother does the customs, and then his brother does the dios. So that's it for the news, the dropping of the waves. I can't wait to find out who's going to be the first one to find it. Maybe
Right.
on the syndicate.
I won't be. I'm cheap. I'm gonna wait till I find it on clearance.
What figures did you picked up some Marvel Legends on clearance recently?
Oh yeah, I got a man. Everybody's been finding some. My buddy Art Miranda, he's a YouTuber. He actually has been finding some of the Netflix wave, Punisher and all those guys. He's been finding those for like $5. Walmart's kicking out a lot of clearances lately. I've been getting a lot of the older waves that I'm still trying to put together. Who did I get recently? I got a couple that were. Oh, I think it was the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 wave, Volume 2 wave. I got a couple of those figures for cheap.
What's cheap?
Between $5 and $9. Yeah. Well, like 50% off or more of the retail price. Yeah. But they're kicking out some Legends at some of the Walmarts for like $5 for some of the Legends. I actually went to today. It was my first time to ever go to a store called Five Below. I've seen people, the California people, going to it. I didn't know what to expect. Man, I loved it. I got a ton. I know a lot of people don't like Multiverse, but I'm still trying to put together like Suicide Squad and the Justice League, and they had all those figures for like $5, $5 each. And I swear some of them are going for 40 or plus. Like they're hard to find for a while, like the El Diablo, from the Suicide Squad movie. El Diablo.
I never saw him.
You never saw him? The movie?
No, I never saw the figure.
Oh, this is what he looks like. $5. He's got fire. He shoots out fire. He's just a fire guy. But it's because he has like a demon in him.
Right.
He's not a mutant. He just he's possessed.
I saw that. Yeah, I'm familiar with the character. I wasn't familiar with him from the comic books.
Yeah, he's cool. He's all tatted up his face. And
you paid $5 for that?
$5, brand new.
Nice.
I wanted him for quite a while, and the only place you can get him, like the second markets, like eBay and all that, and he was $40 and not cheaper. I mean, you could not find this guy, and I guess they came out with another whole batch of them because now they're. Well, I still haven't seen them this cheap until I came to Houston, but yeah. So if anybody needs them, I'll trade.
Nice. Hey, you got to trade up, Omi. You got to trade up.
Yeah, and when I do this, like a lot of the syndicate guys, like David and Josh Holloway, David and them, we've been doing a lot of trades, and when they watch my thrift stores videos and they see something we've been doing good. It was like, man, you passed up whatever, like a plush, and I need that plush, and I will actually we'll either trade or I'll just give it to them at the price it was. Like I'm not trying to make a penny off of it, but yeah, we've been looking out after each other. It's a cool little community that we've been putting together. So
yeah, that's awesome, man, and that's getting the heads up, and then people finding stuff for you. Like I recently started going on a hunt for a pop that I don't really want. Matter of fact, I think if Brad Campbell's still in the chat, I ended up finding some Smurf pops for him, and we did some sort of trade. I can't remember what he sent me in return, but it's nice. Apparently, they're saying in the chat that the guys in the Renegades, probably Mikey's action figure, he's the one that's been finding the stuff early. I know he found the Spider-Man Noir, and what was the other one? But apparently they found that words are difficult sometimes, guys. Really difficult.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for?
We got 40-year-old brains. They don't.
Oh, I'm drinking coffee to help me out too. It's not helping. But the Sasquatch wave, apparently they found that too.
Oh yeah. When you were saying you're going to pass on it, I just want Sasquatch, to be honest with you. Also, I don't even want maybe I'll just buy Sasquatch on eBay and skip them all.
Yeah, that Sasquatch looks kind of cool. People were complaining that he looked a little bit small, and I guess he's not that well known of a figure. Well, players, if you're into Canada, the Canadians know who Sasquatch is.
Yeah, they do.
Puck and
he's a taxpayer there.
But yeah, that wave looks cool. But I have to limit myself. Last year I spent way too much money on on figures. It was an abhorrent amount of money that I'm embarrassed. I can't even believe how much money I spent on figures. So I had to do something, which is why I came up with that $100 plan. And
Smart.
so far, I'm making it. Do you budget?
I don't, but I need to because I'm catching a lot of flack. I kind of got the same idea. What I'm thinking of, I haven't been my whole life I've worked 2 or 3 jobs a lot, but I had a near death experience last year, and I'm still recovering, so I'm having a hard time. I'm just now getting my health back together where I can work. So what I'm thinking is everything I make for my normal shifts will go to house, and I think I'm going to try to pick up like a 12 or 16-hour shift somewhere, and that be my toy money. Just that one little, not overnight, but just the 12-hour shift, and that's my money for the week.
Oh, for the
Something like that.
hey Kevin, I was thinking for the month. For the
Oh no,
week.
I don't know, man. Well, I like you said, if I go in there and there's something old, I end up like the thrift stores, man. I easily drop a 20 like every single day, and that's cheap. That's like leaving stuff behind. And the comic books, it's hard. I need to control also though, but it's just so hard to do.
How does your wife feel about your collecting?
I think she has mixed emotions. I think she's happy that I'm happy, and some things I try to do. Some things like some of the '90s cartoons that she likes. I try to us to be involved together, and she goes with me. Like on the majority of my hunts, she's there. She doesn't want to really be in front of the camera, but she's with me everywhere. She helps me look. She digs with me, and she's an old soul, as you'd call it. She loves vintage, and so she's my partner in a lot of ways for this also. And but I think as far as the space, yeah, I got a problem. Like I don't think anybody's happy about the space thing, and it gets expensive. You know how it is. It's just expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. Does your wife collect any vintage stuff if she's around your age?
Not really. She has a lot of like maybe the Marilyn Monroe stuff. I mean, she's into some stuff like that, but not really any major collection. Probably, I got 2 kids, 12 and 15, and they don't like toys at all. I'm the only toy guy in the house. All the kids like technology and electronics.
Boys or girls?
1 boy, 1 girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not into toys. Yeah, my girls aren't really into toys either, but they love daddy. And same reason your wife goes and kind of supports your
puts up with me.
Yeah, puts up with your collecting, but being returning the same love and that we're getting,
sure.
it's good to keep it on the low key. And it's hard. It's not easy going on a budget. I'm turning over figures. Matter of fact, I just I sold I sold a transformer that I had, a Sun Surge. I did a comparison review, and some guy said, "Oh, I like them both." Hey, it's one of the guys fig lights from Miami. Oh, mi gente ahí. So here's the funny story. Speaking about space, I used to keep all my boxes, all my boxes. And then I finally said, I'm just going to keep boxes of my higher end toys. So I had my masterpiece Transformers, etc., the third party stuff. So because I sold that figure, I needed to go get him the box, and it was in my attic. So I had difficulty going into my attic, and then I brought out 6 bags of boxes.
Wow.
6 bags, large trash bags of boxes. Now they're in my garage. It is an abhorrent amount of stuff. And then I don't know. Do you go through this? And I'm sure every collector goes through this. Like, okay, the euphoria of buying the toy, the chase, the nostalgia, and then you run out of space, and then it's like suffocating you, and it's too much.
And you're torn 2 different ways.
Yeah, like what are you gonna do?
Yeah, like it's terrible. Like right now, I'm facing that. Like today, I have probably like about 30 toys sitting next to me here, and I'm not even in my own house. And
how many?
Filled up probably about 30 toys I bought today, just all on clearance though. But you know what? 30 toys.
Let's see them.
Spent like $50.
Let's see those toys. Let's see those toys.
Some of these are kind of ridiculous, but me and my wife like this movie line, the what's it called? Perfect Pitch Perfect. So I got Fat Amy. I liked it. And then I like this cartoon till they canceled it, which is Zorn. And I already have one Zorn. This is like, there's 3 of him in this wave. And this was you heard about the Toys R Us is closing.
Yeah.
They were going to shut down like a million. Well, there was a Toys R Us here, closed down, and they were selling everything 75% off everything in the store. And I picked up like a ton of stuff. I probably didn't need most of it, but I got this one. I went to a comic shop and found all these on clearance, and it's Family Guy. That's the dog and Stewie.
Well, you should sell those off to Josh Pence and give him some more pops.
I should, right? That is a good idea. And then I found some like video game figures that are McFarlane that are amazing at Ross for a few bucks. And these are like great sculpts. This is a big like 8-inch figure with a bunch of accessories.
Yeah, I've seen those at Ross for that price.
I love them.
Actually, speaking of Josh, I just saw he asked in the chat, do they pay attention to the chat? LOL. Well, sometimes we do. It's kind of hard sometimes to keep the chat flowing, but the format of these, Josh, and you're going to be on here soon, player, so you better get used to it.
I don't even see the chat.
Yeah, he can't see the chat, but I am seeing the chat right now. But the way that we do it is we focus on the spotlights on Kevin. I have a set of questions, and once I'm done with those sets of questions, I'll open it up to the chat, and then that's when we'll start paying attention to the chat. But it's just way too much to do. But do you want some of his pops, Josh? I know you like pops.
Yeah, fair trade or at cost. I went to that Five Below, and I just started buying everything they had there because they were $5. I don't need these guys. But I got Wonder Woman. $5 is better than 20.
Bro, you're sick, just like the rest of us.
I got these vinyls because I just like SpongeBob. They were only like $1 or so after the 75%. Didn't need them, but they're cool. SpongeBob.
That's the problem. They make way too many cool things.
I agree. I don't know who this guy is, but he looks like Iron Man. It's like a.
Wait a second. Put that back up. What?
A Disney video game. His name is Super Adaptroid. It's Marvel, but it's like a video game, but he's like a full-size statue. I just thought he looked great. So I didn't need him. Have you seen this big mamma jamma? This guy's from the world of Nintendo. He is freaking huge. But I got him for a couple bucks.
What's he called?
His name is Ganondorf.
I thought it said Gandalf for a second.
I know, it's almost Gandalf, but it's Ganondorf, and he's like about 8 or 9 inches tall. This is the biggest World of Nintendo figure I've ever seen.
Wow.
But he's massive. He's bigger than my head. See? I didn't need him, but he was on like almost free. They asked me to take him.
Well, there's some people that collect Nintendo stuff in the group, so you never know.
Mini mates, like they had it, and this is like, and there's more Toys R Us. So if there's a Toys R Us, there's a list out of all the Toys R Us's that are going down. So we know exactly which ones, and they're all doing this where you can get all this stuff change on the price. Like they're already clearanced. If you see the price tag, it's already clearance, like a few dollars, and then 75% off of that clearance price. So I literally bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I bought about 15 toys for $12.
That's awesome.
You know,
yeah.
I collect a lot of these. I got a lot of the retro, like the Back to the Future, Star Trek. I collect a lot of these mini mates that are the retro, old looking ones. But yeah, I got too much, and my wife's probably watching, and now she knows.
Mrs. Tattooed Hunter, listen, I'm going to try to talk some sense into your husband, but it's going to take me time. Like talking sense into myself first, and then to him. All right, Kevin, so we've gotten to the point in the collector spotlight where I call the rapid round. It's not a unique idea, but I want to ask you some questions, and I want you to actually, let me bring you up to the screen so people are looking at you. That's right. They're looking at you because I haven't figured out how to do a side-by-side screen yet. I'm going to have to get a little bit more technical. Maybe the technical guys in the chat can help me out in the future. I may have to learn OBM, I think.
Wait, can write you a program just for you.
OBS. I can. OBM's the group, right?
OBM, yeah.
So OBS, I think it's called OBS. But I need to learn how to do the side by side. But anyway, so this is how it works. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to come up with the first thing that pops into your mind. You ready?
All right. I'm sick. I'm going to tell you. I've seen a lot.
All right, here we go. Marvel or DC?
Whoosh. shoot, DC.
Batman or Black Panther?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go with Batman.
Darkseid or Thanos?
Thanos, I guess.
Darkseid. Oh, I already said that. Deadpool
Yeah.
or Deathstroke?
Deadpool. He's funny.
Domino or Black Cat?
Domino.
Do you fold or do you hang your t-shirts?
I fold them.
Chicken fried steak or fried chicken?
Oh man, chicken fried steak.
Sweet tea or Coke?
I would go with tea.
Hamburgers or hot dogs?
Hamburgers.
What was the last movie you saw?
The last movie I saw was I watched Civil War again, Captain America: Civil War. It's
And
on Netflix.
It's on Netflix, yeah. What's the movie you're looking forward to seeing next?
I think the one I want to see next is Black Panther. I want to see that one.
Yeah, man, that looks really good.
I think they're excellent choice of actors to play those roles, and they have like Angela Bassett. I'm in love with her. She's gorgeous. It's got a lot of great older actors in there.
Yeah. The main actor does a really good job too.
Yeah.
Killmonger, that guy's a good actor as well. I'm looking forward to their potentially that movie is going to be really, really good. And it doesn't look like it's going to be a comedy. I know that they've been injecting a lot of comedy into the Marvel movies, which is great. But I think this one's going to be a little serious. Fight scenes are going to probably be amazing.
I was a little bummed out by what I've seen so far as trailers and looking like on IMDb. I don't see Captain America in there. And when Civil War left off, King T'Challa was actually hiding him out. Like after he escaped, he was hiding over there on Wakanda, and they don't show him on the list in the movie. And that's where he is right now. So I was kind of sad about that. But
you don't think he's going to be in the movie?
Well, he's not on a list of an actor that's in it. He's not listed right now, unless they're trying to keep it on the low. But he's not.
I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be in there.
I really hope so.
Yeah, I think they're trying to pull a swerve.
Yeah, I think sometimes they have to, so they don't drop any spoiler.
Right. Yeah, they're keeping it close to it. I'm good with that. I like being surprised in some of these movies. He may just be doing a cameo, like somebody in the Brad just who was it? Steve.
Yeah, that's right.
Steve said, yeah. All right, so you have a large collection, and it's all over the place. And you have to get out of town and like in a hurry, and you can only take 3. Your wife says only 3. Only 3, honey. Which 3 are you taking?
I'm gonna take. I have a box that has my 74 Migos playset, and it has 3 figures in it. I guess I would take that box. That'd probably be the oldest. The stuff. It'd be the hardest to replace. And I also have an Incredible Hulk Migos that's also a 70. No, it's not the full size 8-inch scale Migos dolls or figures. It's when they started coming out with pocket heroes, but it's an old one also. I think it's an early 80s, but it's my wife got me that because she bought it for me, and she bought me I think 80 or 84 lunchbox with the thermos of Incredible Hulk, and it's got that early artwork. I think those few little items is probably what I would take. That's all I could take. Oh, you know what I have? I got Lou's autograph. I would take that. Lou Ferrigno, the real Incredible Hulk, got his autograph and picture. I'd probably.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've got Mark Hamill's autograph. I love.
You can only take 3, player. You're
yeah.
She said only 3.
My room. And my wife would be like, "What about me?"
What about me?
No, I'd probably take my Migos stuff then, my oldest stuff.
So very good. So as you are interacting, you're very active in the groups. What do you want to leave behind in the toy community when they think of the tattooed toy hunter? What do you want people to think?
Well, I just probably I want to be able to, like, I guess, pay homage to the stuff that started all this, like the original toys, the old toys. You know, just that they're aware that, you know, that these amazing toys, they're great, but they came from somewhere. You know, they came from the minds of all these Kirby, Stan Lee, all these guys, and then the original toys and stuff. That's about it. You know,
that's very good. I think that
I stay humble. I try to stay nice and helpful, and I try to like I want to start doing stuff in my videos where I help like these smaller channels out and put their name out there, because a lot of you guys did that for me. So I want to kind of pay it forward, you know?
Yeah,
That's about
absolutely.
it.
I think you're definitely a very nice guy. I see how you interact with people, and I think that's a good thing. Also, the fact that you showcase the older toys
Yeah.
to people that they're young people, like in the syndicate, over 4,000 people now. A lot of them are young people that have no idea that those existed, and it's nice to see when you put out a video and you're running and other people that run into those vintage toys that meant so much to us, that bring us so much nostalgia,
Yeah.
that you have an opportunity to showcase that on your channel for people to see. So I think that's great. So guys in the chat, I am going to turn it over to you now. It's your opportunity to ask Kevin all these questions, and I think some of them already came. Let me see. This is a
If there's no
G-rated
kids,
show.
I'll be real honest. If there's no kids on,
Well, there's always a possibility that my stuff gets watched by kids.
that's right. Me
I
too.
didn't
I
hit
got
the
nephews.
adult only tab on this one. So in the chat, you can ask whatever you want. We'll see what I like to read.
You'll
Last
relay
week,
it to me.
yeah, absolutely. I'll relay it to you. Last week, Rube the Great was on there, and he asked he was asking T-Man some questions, and I had to skip a few. So let's see. Start writing them down, guys. If I miss your question, just write it down again, and I'll try to catch it down. Let me see.
I'm pretty honest. That's one thing that my wife is. I guess it bothers her because I'm not embarrassed about anything. Almost, I'll say anything.
All right, so Jerome Hammond Jam, Jerome from Hammond Jam is asking you to tell the story about you looking for comics but finding the naughty magazines instead.
Yeah, I used to collect comic books from a store in the town I live in. This is not the town I grew up in. This is a place that I've been in for the last 8 years. I remember many years ago that they had comics, and it was the only place. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna this for video content. I'm gonna go in here and look at the new comics that are out. And I went in, and it was nothing but nudie magazines. Nothing. The guy that, I guess the company that shipped comics to these guys, they went belly up. So all they had there was nudie mags, and I was like in shock because like I was filming through this, and my eyesight's not great. So it took a while for me to figure out that there was just all nude people.
Oh my!
Luckily, it was terrible. It wasn't comic books though.
What'd your wife say?
Well, I showed it to her because I was telling her, look, I'm editing this. I find it funny now that I look back at it. Do you think this is too risque for me to put in a video? And I showed her, and basically the magazines, I mean, kids are going to go into convenience stores, so they already blur out areas. So it wasn't that bad, you know, like you could tell what was there, but they blurred out the important parts. So she said, go with it.
Yeah, that's always
why she's with me.
I use my wife as the litmus test too. I say, honey, is this appropriate? I've been ixnayed on a few things, and like the one bit with Richard Smith sending me some risque underwear.
Yeah.
She was not too happy with that I went with that. I didn't ask her permission for that one. All right, let's move on. Let's see. The Night Walk. No.
Curtis.
Mike Moradea asks, "What's your favorite Marvel Legend, new or old?"
Oh man, Marvel Legend. You know, since I'm relatively new to Marvel Legends, because of, I would have to be honest and say probably I've got a few Wolverine of the past Wolverines. I've got the older Toy Biz Wolverine that's Weapon X. I like that one. And he's got the little mask and the cables. And he comes with a back display of the little tank he was in.
Yeah, it's a
like
very cool figure. Yeah, it's a very cool
that's
figure.
Probably my favorite. I picked that up at a toy show down here.
How much you pay for it?
I want to say $10 with the accessories as well.
Wow, that's a good deal.
Yeah, I'm cheap, man. That's what I do.
Good for you. Josh Pence asked, "What's your goal YouTube-wise for this year?"
You know, I don't think of it as like it's going to be something to retire on. I have a degree, and I love what I do, but I really just, I don't know. There was something about making $100 off of it and getting up. I want to get up to 1,000. That would be my answer. Is I would like to get 1,000 subscribers. But But now that they changed everything around, I was just about to get monetized. Like, I mean, I was about to get monetized any day. Like, it was already in the process of doing it, and they kicked me out. And now I got to wait for that 1,000. But I guess I'd have to say I would love to get 1,000 subscribers just so everybody can see the wacky stuff I do.
So you weren't monetized yet?
No, you had to get what it was,
10,000
views, and I got that. And they put, I guess all this change was happening because they made me wait. I was waited 3 weeks for them to they kept sending me messages. We're reviewing all your videos. And then this happened, and then they put a new message saying that I had to wait for the 1,000 subscribers now. So yeah, I was just too late to get monetized before this happened. This change happened. So,
yeah,
but I don't care.
I think you're good. Yeah, I think you're good anyway because you'll hit 1,000, and in the next few months or so, maybe within the half a year for sure. And who knows? You put out a video and it gets a little bit of traction, you'll get more YouTube subscribers, and you'll eventually get there. Because even if you hit monetization right now, and we were talking a little bit about it, I can't remember. I think it was on Ted Chucker's channel that we talked about it.
40,000 views, or
yeah, you're not gonna trust me. You're not gonna be making. You'll be making pennies on the dollar right now, but eventually, hopefully, we'll get there, and it'll be just fine. You're not losing out. Ultimately, my point is you'll still be able to buy the toys that you want to buy.
That's right.
You don't need to be monetized, and you'll eventually get there. The next question is from Christopher Smith.
That's my buddy.
Is there a matter of fact, he just started collecting some Transformers. I may have given him the bug. Is there a vintage line you wish they would remake today? Good question.
Man. You know what? I have to agree with a lot of people that I've seen posting in Syndicate and Open Bar. Is it would be cool to see the vintage G.I. Joes brought to life in a 6-inch figure. I think that would be kind of cool. That would be first and foremost, because like the original 82 Cobra Commander and 84 Duke and all those guys, a Shipwreck. There was so many great 80s G.I. Joe figures that I would love, but I'm kind of not into the 3 3/4 inch anymore. So I think I would like to see it at 6-inch. So I think G.I. Joe first, and then I would go on with other people like Silverhawks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Chicken Fried Steak asks, do you collect Transformers, DBZ, or any other lines?
I don't really. I only collect stuff if I run into it, like at a good deal. Like I love the Masterpiece figures. When I see those, like I'm blown away by them. But I guess I can't jump into them. There's a block in my head saying do not spend that money on them. But I do have I have a lot of G1. I have like the Insecticons. I have Optimus. I got a few Transformers, but they're old. I got the old stuff. The new stuff, I haven't liked any of them. I don't really care for the Michael Bay look. I like the movies, but I don't like those figures. I like the original look of Optimus and all them guys. That's just what I personally prefer. So that's what I like about Masterpieces. They got that real retro look. And that's one thing I like about Christopher Smith's collection is it's not necessarily the toy itself is old, but it's the retro look to him. All his stuff he has, the Dukes of Hazzard. He's got some great stuff, his collection. I like that stuff. If I collect modern stuff, it's got to be modern, but it's the retro style. So that's
awesome. Hey, Chris, I like to see your collection. Where does he put it at in IG? Or you just, I know I saw a video you put up on the Syndicate.
Yeah.
Put it in the chat. I want to know.
I've taken shots of it on my Instagram. Not all of it, but over 50% of it. Because a lot of my collection, it's ugly. It's boxed up. And it's not like boxed up pretty. It's just like up against a corner of a wall. So it's not really displayable. But most of my loose stuff, my vintage stuff, is I've taken shots, put it on Instagram. I have them in the background of a lot of my videos. But I'm going to do some type of collection video. It's just I have a very small, modest house, and I don't have no room for most of my stuff.
Yeah, I hear you. And what about DBZ? Do you collect that?
No, but I'm.
That's Dragon Ball. Oh, you know what? We were talking about this earlier. Is a genre? I mean, a genre. It's an age. Yeah, it's an age gap thing. got people our age.
But
We're in our early 40s.
yeah,
So
that's the problem. Is
yeah.
a
So
lot of
we're
people say certain things. I'm like, I don't remember that. But even though I don't get into that, like I would collect that before I'd probably collect Power Rangers, because I guess it wasn't the time I was collecting. But that Shenron Build-A-Figure, that made me kind of think, like, I almost jumped into the Dragon Ball, what's it called, Dragon Stars wave, just because that Shenron was like awesome. So I'm thinking about it.
Was that the dragon?
Yeah, the dragon. They have a Build-A-Figure wave. It's a big old dragon called Shenron, and he makes me. I like dragons, so I've got a few dragons on my arms.
I have a very inappropriate joke that I'm having to force myself not to say right now. So let's let's move on to the next question before I get myself in trouble. What was your earliest toy memory? Asked Paul McGrath.
Man, earliest toy memory. Well, I remember my old man when we used to go throw the trash at the local dump. We're poor, and I remember digging at the city dump, finding all kinds of cool stuff. And I remember like finding He-Man and stuff. Then I think He-Man may be my very first memories of loving toys. It was He-Man figures, the early 80 figures, 82, 83. That's probably my first, when I fell in love with toys, was probably that line. And then after that, I mean, they came out with so many Visionaries, Crystal Warriors, the insect ones. It goes on forever. But the 80s, man, that, like you said in the beginning of the interview, they were like, that's the mecca for toys and comics. The 80s put out the great, even movies. If you ever go back and watch movies, the 80s, like, just put out the best stuff. So
with really good music too. The music was
really
absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
And I have to listen. Awesome. My kids think I'm an old fuddy because if I get a hold of the radio in the car, they hate it. Because I'll be there with my mother-in-law and I'll be like, "That's a Jefferson Starship. Let me play you my favorite 1978 song by them." And they're like, "No, we want to hear whatever."
I want to hear Justin. I want to hear the Beeb. Let's listen to the Beeb.
Yeah.
Come on, really good stuff. Really good music. Yeah. Not another
like
retro
all that gangster stuff.
Not another retro channel says, love both of your channels. Keep it up, guys. Thanks. We appreciate that. He's got a great channel. I love all his stuff.
I've been a fan of his for a long time.
He's in Texas. How close to you?
He's north of me. He's up there. He's a little further.
How north?
I think from where I live, I think he's up probably about 6 to 8 hours north of me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But maybe you can find a way to make a little collab happen. And you guys can do like retro collecting together.
There's a huge thing that's going to go down in April in Dallas. It's called the Dallas Expo Toy Show. It's a big deal. It's going to be April 7th. And there's some YouTubers, and there's another Texas-based Facebook group called the Texas Toy Armory. Rube is in it. Rube and a couple others. Venom. There's a few toy hunters. And we're all going to try to meet up there April 7th together and at least get to see each other before it starts. So, and I'm
that's
gonna
cool.
do it already. My wife gave me permission, so I asked a couple of the guys to please ask Narc and Rube to make sure they were going because I would love to meet them.
Are you guys going to put it? I know he's in the channel or he's in the chat. Rube's not. Are you going to go to that? Doodog. Wait, I thought Doodog was in Texas too.
He's
Georgia. Georgia. That's right.
Yeah.
Mike Dotterman asked, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, man.
Reversing some of those ugly tattoos.
Yeah, well, I just get more, though, and it's expensive. That's another collection I can't afford. Oh, man. If I could have one power, it would probably be invisibility. I think I would do invisibility. I don't want to, I would use that to help, but for my own personal gain, too.
Not in a perv sense? Okay, let's move on to the next one.
I'm not going to lie, yes.
Okay, we'll call you Mrs. Oh, no, there's already a Mr. Fantastic. Never mind. Bad joke. Moving on to the Nightwalker. What's your favorite 80s cartoon?
Ooh, man. I love them all, but if I had to pick, I think I would pick, I was super into, it's going to be a tie between G.I. Joe and Thundercats, but man, I loved them both. I guess.
Do you know the theme song? What's the theme song? Can you sing the theme song? Or give us a one-liner from the cartoon that you remember.
Yo, Joe.
What about Thundercats? Come on, give us the
Thundercats
Thundercats
are
one.
on the loose. Thundercats are something like that.
I
And then
was
he
I was
said
just
ho a
hoping.
lot of times.
I was waiting for the Thundercats.
Yeah,
Ho!
he's like ho ho ho. He's calling her. I don't know. He had a problem.
He did have a little bit of a problem. Cody Spring says, Kevin, I said earlier, Silverhawk wise, I have a Condor without a shooting claw and a non-spinning hot wing.
I need Condor.
There you
I don't
go.
have him.
Work him out. Work it out, fellas.
Wave 1 Condor on. And like, I won't lie, I eBay a little bit, but I'm cheap there too. Like, it's got to be a certain price, so I don't hardly ever buy. If I don't get it for $1 or $2, I don't really buy. But yeah, man, if we can work out deals,
what does that go for? What does that go for?
It depends. Like, if you want it accessories and nice and clean, it can go 20s, 30s on up. And then if you get it like without the accessories and a little scuffed up, you might be able to get it between $10 or so.
Okay, cool. Plastic Addict. Not another retro channel says he's going to try to go to that thing for sure. Christopher Smith is going.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dude Dog's not going to make the trip.
Yeah. I'm over here in Christopher Smith's backyard right now.
Venom Fang, he's in your area?
Yeah, I'm in his backyard too.
I haven't seen him post in a while, actually.
Yeah, I told him I was checking on him, because I went and started stalking his Facebook just to make sure he was okay.
That's the savior part of yourself right there. You want to save people right there. Let me get back to Plastic's question. If you were an action, hold on, I'm going to ask it just like Plastic right here. If you was an action figure, what toy company would you be made from? You'd be exclusive to a certain store.
Oh man, I'd want to be awesome, but I'd probably end up being like a really bad multiverse figure or something, or Dollar General. I'll take anything. I'd be happy just to be an action figure.
Somebody said Snarf, but I think that was in reference to something else. But that would be funny.
Snarf, Snarf, Snarf. Hey, that's a cool figure. I don't have him either.
Let me see. Okay, I'm trying to find the questions. I should have. You know what I should have asked you guys to do now? Thinking about it, I should have asked you to put question in caps so I could find them easier. Oh, for next time. Oh gosh. I think
had a pretty interesting life, guys. You can ask.
All right, I think I've ran through all the questions. I'll give it a few more seconds, see if they drop. If not, we'll end the stream. Yarp, yarp. People are laughing at your Dollar General comment.
Yeah, there's pretty bad toys there, but they have toys.
Hey man, you go everywhere.
I do. Just for the
okay, I missed plastics. Did I miss? Somebody's telling me the Nightwalker saying I missed George's question.
Oh, wasn't it about if I was a figure line?
Oh wait, there's more. No, I think I got it. I think I asked that one. All right. And 5, 4, 3. Oh, here we go. Brad Campbell. Brad Campbell, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for capitalizing that for me. Now I can see when the questions are coming in. How much time do you spend on each video? I'm trying to figure out how you crank out so many videos.
I spend a lot of time more. I mean, I need to start balancing family time, and because I'm like that with everything, not just toys. When I sink into something, like I'm in it hardcore. If I'm going to school for something, or if I like something, I dive into it like ridiculously. So I spend too much time. Sometimes I can sit there and I'll do 10 hours, just off and on. And the only time I get a break from it is when maybe I'm rendering or finalizing a video and it takes a while, or YouTube has to load. But I need to back off. But I spend a lot of time because sometimes I'll make a unique intro for every single video too, like just to change it up. Like just because of, I guess, the artistic side of it, I find fun. So I do that, but I do put out a lot of videos. I don't know why. Sometimes it can be like 3, 4, 5 a week. Sometimes 1 or 2, but It all depends. And then I have I'm sitting on a lot of videos I've recorded that I still haven't got to put out yet because there's so much. Because it's gotten to where now that I can do toy hunting during the day at work too, and when I'm off, it's there's no end. I go every day to a store, and also I do. Sometimes we do what we call LDTs, long distance transports. So say I pick up a patient from a hospital, and he needs a specialized doctor that they only have 4 or 5 hours away. Well, now I have access to stores that don't exist in my town, because once I drop that guy off or girl off, I can do toy hunting there for a little while, get some food, fuel up the ambulance, hit a couple stores, and come back. So,
if there's anybody from if his employer is watching, he said after he drops off the patient.
That's right.
So
after the call's complete. The bad thing is she's my boss, but we've been friends for 15 years also. So she knows my problems, and she goes with me on a lot of those hunts.
Nice.
So when your boss is doing it, it's pretty nice.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. If I just did 911 for the city back in the day, I wouldn't be able to do any of that.
No,
you have to be ready at a second's drop of a hat.
Yeah.
But I'm just fortunate enough now that the stuff we're doing is already wrapped up and ready to go, and they're stable, and I don't do a whole lot of emergency stuff anymore, so I get to play a lot.
That's good. So Dude Dog asked, do you have an action figure related tattoo? And the answer is no. It was earlier. Would you consider getting an action or some sort of action figure related tattattoo? How about we make that question?
Yeah, you know what? For someone like me, that I'm tattooed from head to toe, back, front, everything. I've tattooed myself in places that we won't even talk about. That's a true story. I don't know. I just got a problem. But if I could remove some, I would do vintage toys. I would do stuff like that. I wouldn't mind having Thundercats and all that, the figures. I think that would be neat.
Plastic Addict wants to know, Kevin, am I your favorite? Hold on a second. Plastic wants to know if he is. Wait, George. Is George your favorite hunter?
Yes.
There you go. You're my favorite hunter too, George.
Because the other day,
I'm just kidding. That's not what he asked. He wants to know. He wants to know who's your favorite hunter to watch.
Man, that would be so hard to pick. Plastic is one of them because, I don't feel like I have the personality to like he does. He's got a very authentic, unique, true personality. So it's fun to watch him because he is who he is. And at first, I felt like I had a nervous energy about me. I'm still trying to come to grips with being in front of a camera because I got all these weird issues. But he is definitely up there, top 5.
Yeah,
there's a lot
of personality for sure.
For sure, and then some people there's things I take from them. I was saying, Brad Campbell, he's got an unparalleled skill with stuff. And then I was talking about David Blucher. This guy finds vintage toys that I didn't know existed. I knew the movies existed. I didn't know they came out with certain toy lines because I really didn't hit up the 90s either for a long time. But then you got Mikey's action figures. He's a really good editor. Fox is a great editor. I really like if you watch Josh Pence, he finds all these unique toy shops because all of us have to hit up Walgreens. I guess it's just part of the job. But how many times can you watch Walgreens? They're all set up the same.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it too, but it gets old. And I think, if I'm just a viewer, I would get tired of Walmart, Ross, Walgreens, Walmart, Ross, Walgreens.
Right.
So I really like the guys that think outside the box, go to these shows, these expos, these Comic-Cons. So there's a lot of, and the ones that stay really active, I think I tend to lean towards them also, that put out a lot of content. Also, you were one of my favorites when I first got into the syndicate because you were naturally funny. And I think that really sold with me because you could tell that you were just a funny guy in real life. So it shows.
My wife doesn't think I'm funny though. So
that's their job.
No,
we're funny when we first get with them, and that's it.
Yeah. And that's what I like. I really like watching different people for just the different things that you said. There's something interesting, at least the people that I watch, there's something interesting. It's either their personality, what they hunt, how they do their hunt, how they do their edits. For me, I think I watch more YouTube than I watch regular TV. I think YouTube is I think that's the thing. I'm not sure if it's actually going to kill. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to kill the TV era. But I definitely watch YouTube. YouTube, here's a fun fact. It's the second most widely used search engine. The first was Google, Next is YouTube, which is pretty phenomenal.
I agree with that.
Christopher Smith asks, "What vintage toy or toys is your grail? What are you wanting to find the most?"
Oh man, there's so many. Vintage wise, I've been wanting the 74 Mego 8-inch Incredible Hulk. I have the Pocket Hero, but he's like this big. He's like 3-inch, 3 or 4 inch. But I want the big Hulk, the 8-inch Migos Hulk.
That's
Someone
what she
posted
said.
them recently. I think it was maybe a Josh Pence video. He went to a store. He didn't buy it, but it was there. He's the old Hulk that just has the purple pants. That would be my grail, is that Hulk.
Awesome. Brad Campbell says he's also going to Fan Expo, so hopefully he's going to see you guys there. I'm sure you guys should meet up. All you guys are
Yeah,
going there.
let's make it a point
Definitely
that
set it up.
let's meet up. Let's make it happen for sure. There's a bunch of us, like a little group, starting to gather from, like I was saying, the other Facebook group called the Texas Toy Armory, because they're all Texas based and they're all around that Dallas Expo. So there's probably at least a dozen of us already that are going to definitely meet, at least to get to see each other, say hi, shake hands. So I would love to see those guys.
You should try to set it up. Try to set it up through the syndicate. Maybe one of the mods will allow for that to happen. You guys can make it a calendar thing.
That would be so awesome. Yeah.
Steve collects. Thank you for putting questions in the capital. Do you have a favorite board game from the past?
Oh man, you know what I used to like was that Mousetrap. Do you remember Mousetrap? I thought it was cool. It'd have all the gadgets like fall and roll this way and roll that way and drop something and catch the mouse at the very end.
I was probably in Cuba when that came out.
Oh yeah, it was called Mousetrap. I know it existed in the 80s. I don't know how much older it really goes, but that was my favorite board game. And then after that, the regular stuff: chess, checkers, Connect Four, Chinese checkers.
Oh, I love Connect Four. That's one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
Mike Moradea wants to know what your favorite music is.
Man, I like everything, but I think I would have to pick 80s rock. But I like Tejano music. I like Spanish cumbias. I've listened to country. I listen to reggaeton. I listen to oldies, blues. But I think 80s rock is like my jam, like 80s big hair band.
Yeah, I love that too.
Here I am. Da-dun, da-dun.
Yeah. There was Cody Spring told you to PM him, I think, regarding those Silverhawk figures.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Paul McGrath wants to know if you ever had a patient swallow a fig.
I've had them place stuff other areas, but not in their mouth.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. I really want to ask.
Belly on the stretcher, face down, transporting them to the emergency room.
And what was up there? Wait. Hold on. Don't answer. Never mind. Let's move on.
Luke, I am your father.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, gosh. All right. I'm trying to skip down. Oh, gosh.
That was fun.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it. And I think it's a good time to stop. We've been an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
He is visiting family, folks. He was Kevin, thank you so much for spending time with me and with the rest of the fellas on here and sharing a little bit of yourself with us. Thank you so much. Want to tell people that may see these guys obviously know who you are, but people that may watch this at a later time that find you interesting and they want to check you out, where can they find you?
Well, they can find me on my YouTube page, which is the Tattoo Toy Hunter. Also on Facebook, you can find me at any of the Facebook groups like the Syndicate, OBM, Open Box Mafia. If not, you can get me on Instagram at the Tattoo Toy Hunter. Also, they're all the same name. So any of those social media platforms, I'm new to it. Like, it's ridiculous, but I'm teaching myself how to use all this. Instagram. I keep joking around to find me at MySpace at Kevin Coleman MySpace because I still have that. And you know what? You can still log into it. That's where you get your skinny pictures at.
Oh yeah, nice. Hey, you need to start using that. Matter of fact, the picture I used, your facial hair was different. It was good look, bro. Longer. Good, yeah. No, I think you didn't have a mustache either. I think you just had like the Quaker beard going.
Yeah.
So I've already linked to his channel, his YouTube channel, on the description of this video. Thanks for watching, y'all. My name is Life with Brock. You can find me here on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. I'm old like him, so I've had to figure stuff like that out as well, at Life with Brock. All right, folks, thanks for joining us. Next week, I will have for you, there was a little switcheroo in the schedule. It is going to be unboxing art. So come join us at the same time, 6 p.m. Pacific, and I will be interviewing him. All right, folks, catch you on the next one.
Thank you.